Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity to practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Constant Brooks, and this episode I talk about, I know it's frustrating when you have a task that you have written down that and it's not close to them for that task to be completed. So you have that task on your task board or whatever you write your tasks on for weeks and you can't come close to taking them off. And you just really want to see that. So that's basically this episode where it'll be like, it's one of those things because what happens is that, you have your time before when you're poor and you have these things that you want to achieve and you can't achieve them. And then you have this, and if you put in the work, you're going to have this point in time where you actually in the position to be like, okay, I can actually achieve some of these tasks. It just takes some time for me to put in the work to actually get it and be like, okay, now it can happen. But what happens is that you that your fantasy versus your reality. So for example, you start to get work and you start to get paid. And what happens is that you see the proposed pay they're going to pay you, and then you say, okay, so based on this calculation, if I do X this, spend this and that, within X week I'm able to actually get enough money put away so that I can actually make this purchase. And that's what you think. And then what happens is that you end up in a job where basically you start to see the reality. Boom, you come late and then your pay cut short because what happens is that you're on a time clock. So they're actually tracking your time. So when you don't come in early, boom, your pay cut short. Then you come from lunch and break late, and those stuff is just basically decreasing your pay. And then what happens is that you may actually say, okay, out of these compens, you may actually be in a job where you may get compensation. Be like, okay, I'll have to just get this compensation, and boom, you're barely not getting it, and stuff like that. So what happens is that task now that you said, okay, it now become possible, becomes actually reached so far, and you're there and you're seeing it and you're dreaming about how you're gonna get it, but you just there in the task, where you're just not reaching it. You're just not completing. Like, oh, yeah. So it's one of those. This episode is just for you to say, okay, it's important for you to actually write down your goals and such because you never know when you're in the position to manifest it, and when you manifest it, you just want to be able to actually cross it off because what happens is that even though it's frustrating to see the task and you can't complete it, what I've realized was that that time between when you put the goal down and when you get it, it's actually preparation. So those frustration and those stuff, it's actually preparation for when you get it. Because when you get it, then you're actually in a more mature position to actually manage that task that you wanted to actually complete. Because what I realize is that certain tasks are a dream that I have if I actually got it when I actually put it down and have the timeline when I actually got it, I would not be in the position to actually manage it. And then basically what happens, I would just have it, boom, and lose it. And and it will be even harder to get it back again. So that what I realize is important for you to write down your goals, but you may feel frustrated, and as you may feel like, okay, these goals are not completed, but just put it there and just put in the work, and then one day, boom, what happens is a compound interest. One day you'll be in a position and be like, okay, I can cross out like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these goals at once, and then boom, your task would become so much shorter. So that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it and be like, yeah, you have to. It's frustrating sometimes to see the goals are not being completed, or seeing some of your dreams not manifesting. But it'll just be okay. Realize that if it was easy to manifest, it would be something that it will be something valuable. So when you actually manifest it, it'll be like, okay, this is why it's so valuable, and then boom. Like, so that's basically it for this episode. Thank you for listening, and look forward for next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
Um, I said, you never know. I mean, be in the position. You never know when, but you may be in the position one day to actually go back. I may actually be in a position to go back to school one day. I actually do this masters and stuff. But what you don't realize is the costs actually associated with doing that. And that's what one of the reasons why I'm working now, because that's the thing. You know, when I look at life and said, okay, yeah, you're trying to make money and stuff, but what you're going to do with the money? That's one of the things. You can out here try to make money and stuff, but what are you going to do with the money? So, you have this option of doing your masters and stuff, but going through